Thank you for joining us for our Spotlight on Europe event. We will begin shortly.
Right now, the seas are quiet, the skies are empty, and our roads less traveled. But it's only a matter of time before the world starts moving again. And when it does, there is one source to count on for all your travel needs. We are Expedia Cruises, and we are more than just cruise vacations. Whether it's custom vacation packages, tours, all-inclusive resorts, or flights, hotels, and activities, we are here to plan, book, and safeguard every leg of your journey. Visit expediacruises.ca and we will help you secure your travel by phone, online, or at an Expedia Cruises location in your neighborhood, where you can get the advice you seek, no matter what your dream vacation might be, air, land, or sea. Expedia Cruises, air, land, and sea vacations.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Welcome to Expedia Cruises Spotlight on Europe virtual event. This is, we've been doing quite a few of these over the last year now almost. And, we're having a lot of fun with the genre and more and more impressed with the number of interested folks that come out to hear what we have to say. So today, I'm thrilled to be speaking and leading today's chat about Europe. Europe has been a bright shining star in our sales over the last year, and something that I think many people are missing and looking forward to getting back to. And today we have three of the world's leading cruise lines here to tell you about their programs in Europe. We're going to tell you about what's happening with cruising in general and really give you a sense of when you should be considering booking, where you might consider go to, and hopefully give you a chance to re-engage with travel. Because I'll be honest, to kick this off, we are seeing tremendous interest and bookings. It's picking up every day. I think we're all living in a time when we are a little stuck, and at the same time, the light is blazing at the end of the tunnel, and we can see an end to some of the inability to move around as we'd like to coming. And with that end will be some pent-up demand, quite frankly, unlike something we've ever seen. So with that, I'll introduce myself. My name's John Mast. I lead marketing for the cruise organization within Expedia Group worldwide. So that includes Expedia Cruises, our chain of nearly 300 retail stores right across North America in communities near you, in Canada and the United States. And during the last year, we've really taken the perspective that we want to be there for our customers. We've been helping people rebook vacations that might have been delayed. And at the same time, we've been asking ourselves, how can we come out of this stronger than ever? So some of you that may have known us as Expedia Cruise Ship Centers, formerly, we're very pleased and excited to inform you that we have rebranded our organization and now present as Expedia Cruises, Air, Land, and Sea Vacations. We really want to make it clear to the world that we are a door-to-door, full-service leisure travel agency that has expertise in many things, but most particularly our heritage helped us become famous really through cruise vacations, and that's what we're here to talk about today. So moving to the next slide and getting right into it. Today, before we dig in, I think it's worth talking a little about the environment we're in. Expedia Cruises over the years has really excelled because of one key thing. Certainly, we bring value. We have exceptional offers and strong relationships with our preferred suppliers, three of which are here today to talk to you. We do sell the full gamut of travel product, but where we really shine and what keeps our customers coming back over and over is our service. And we like to position ourselves or say to our customers, we are your navigators of spectacular vacation experiences. We are trained experts offering advice you can trust, and that we will be there with you before, during, and after your trip to plan the next one. And I think in times like this, that's become even more sincerely important. People have more questions than ever. Our experience at the moment is people are reaching out with many questions, new questions about safety, about vaccinations, about tests, about travel, about what life is like on the road if you're in the early stages of getting out there now, and what life will be like when we are in a position to move around much more freely, which, as I said earlier, is coming. So with that, as we move through this presentation, you're going to learn a lot of things today, but I strongly encourage you, as you're planning your vacation, to work closely with your vacation consultant at your Expedia Cruises location. These are our lifeblood. These people live and breathe travel, and they are ready to help you and working hard to get the answers to all the questions, be it something about the destination or something about the travel environment we're living in. So today's adventure, we're going to Europe. Enjoy it. It's going to be great. Europe offers so much. I mean, if you dig into cruising, going to Europe is not as simple as going to Europe, similar to going to Hawaii or going to Alaska. There are many, many regions and itineraries in Europe. There's your classic Mediterranean. We have the Baltic. You can see, I think, what looks like the church in St. Petersburg there. There is the British Isles with Ireland and Scotland and Britain. There is Greece and Amalfi Coast. There is the Douro and the rivers. There's just so much to experience. So pay attention, fall in love with Europe. If you've been there before, you know what we mean. And if you haven't been there yet, you've got to go. I personally had the experience, not last summer, but the summer before, to take a milestone birthday cruise to the Mediterranean with my mom and my daughter. And we traveled around for close to 12 days, visited the sites. And I can't tell you how many times over the last year that I've been saying to myself, thank goodness we did that, and how quickly life can change. So I strongly encourage you to dig in, listen to what our partners have to say, and think seriously about giving yourself something to look forward to. Why cruise is an amazing way to travel to Europe is quite simply this. Not only does Europe offer an incredible array of sites and history and cuisine, but the ships themselves are traveling meccas of cuisine, of entertainment, and as you can see there in that beautiful shot of the stateroom and on the pool deck, rest. I can tell you, Europe is an adventure, and it's an adventure that gets you out there. And I always like to say, you work hard in Europe. You're up early, you're out exploring, you're seeing the sights. When you get back to the ship, there's nothing more wonderful than taking a break, perhaps by the pool. I like to sometimes sneak away and have a nap, and then heading out for a great evening of being pampered with some incredible cuisine and treated to some further remarkable entertainment. So that's what cruising is all about. That's just a tidbit of what you can expect in Europe. And now I think it's time to talk about the great people we're going to hear from today. With us today, we have 3 cruise lines represented, 3 of our top partners from the industry. From Norwegian Cruise Lines, we have Kayla Corbett, Senior Manager of Strategic Partnerships. From Oceania Cruises, Scott Klusner, Vice President of Strategic Accounts. And from Regent Seven Seas Cruises, our friend Chanel Knight, the Strategic Accounts Director. These people are dynamic speakers. They're incredibly informed and right up to speed on what's going on in the industry. So without further ado, I would like to pass to our first speaker, Kayla, to kick it off with Norwegian Cruise Line. Enjoy the show, folks.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're so excited to be here, and it's just such a privilege to speak to those individuals who are anxiously anticipating our return to service and getting back to what we do just as much as we are. A little bit about myself. I was a crew member, and I was privileged enough to actually travel to Europe on many different cruises. So if you hear me reference on board or guests, you know that it's coming from life. I just want to start off by saying that it's important that we're here today and thinking of the future, and whether that's 2021, 2022, or 2023, it actually can contribute to greater happiness. And I just wanted to share a statistic with you that according to a study conducted by the Institute of Applied Research, 97% of respondents said that having a trip planned contributes to greater overall happiness. And I think that's what we're here to do today, is to learn about our exciting destinations that Norwegian Cruise Line offers in Europe and really feel that anticipation and excitement for what's to come in the future. So without further ado, We'll just dive right in. So what we're going to do is touch upon different regions, and then there's some highlighted itineraries that I think are worth mentioning and taking a deeper dive in. Of course, you can contact your Expedia Cruises advisor to learn more about dates, pricing, etc. But this is a good snapshot. So we're going to start off with Scandinavia and Russian itineraries. And I chose one on the next slide that's really a capstone of what we offer. We have deployment available from 2021, 2022, and 2023 available with Norwegian Cruise Line in Europe. So it really depends on when you're able to travel and when we're ready to get back to service, which we're all hoping is quite soon. But this is one of my favorite destination or itineraries here, which is really kind of this ultimate Scandinavia and Russia. We start in Copenhagen, finish in Stockholm. And when I feel that when you're going to the Baltic region, and you really want to get a bunch of countries in here. And this itinerary really encapsulates that. It has an overnight in St. Petersburg, something that everybody has to get to and see all the fabulous palaces and ballets and so many exciting things to do there. Tallinn, Estonia, great little city. Medieval culture, it actually began in the 1200s, but research showed that there was human beings there 5,000 years ago. So there's so much to see in a lot of these different places. And surprisingly, I was surprised because I thought it would be Mediterranean. When I was working on board several years ago, guests that visited Scandinavia, Russia, and Baltic ports had said, you know, we thought this was going to be a once-in-a-lifetime cruise, and we're actually dying to go back because we just were so impressed by the culture and also the sense of community in that region. The people are just so nice and hospitable, and there's so many different things to see. So I highly recommend you do that, and we will love to hear your experience as well. So on to the next region. We're now in Northern and Western Europe. This encapsulates quite a bit. So what we have here is a variety of regions. We have our 10-day British Isles, Ireland, Scotland, and that's on our Norwegian Dawn. This one happens to be on June 3rd, 2022. You're getting all the way up to Northern Ireland and Belfast, Kirkwall, Edinburgh, great little Scottish place, got to see the castle, and then finishing out in Amsterdam. This 10-day Iceland and Greenland is very interesting. I'm not the greatest at pronouncing Icelandic and you know, those ports of call, they're quite difficult, so I'll just say leaves out of Reykjavik, Reykjavik, Isafjord, and Nortalik in Greenland. But if you're really looking to do this region and want to do it on the comfort of a cruise ship, this is a great option as well, right in the height of summer, next summer. And then we have 10-day France, Belgium, Netherlands, and Norway. So if you're checking off countries, this is a great opportunity for you because you're seeing France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, Norway. So really encapsulating quite a bit, all in 10 days on the Norwegian Getaway, which is a great size ship. So definitely a good one to check out. As we dive into the Mediterranean and Western Europe, we have a lot of different options ahead as well. We start off with a 7-day Western on Norwegian Epic. This is I would call the classic Mediterranean cruise out of Barcelona. You hit Cannes in France, great spot if you're into the film festival or you like quaint little cafes by the shore. In the summertime, the marinas are happening. You hit Corsica, Florence in Italy, great port of call. If you're dying to see that Leaning Tower of Pisa, definitely something to check out. Rome, which is actually a train ride into the city of Rome. We dock at Civitavecchia. We're down to Naples for some tasty pizza and then finishing out in Palma de Mallorca, Spain, before finally arriving back to Barcelona. The next itinerary is a 10-day Italy and France, and you have a lot of other Spain and Italian ports as well. We can keep going for the sake of time. So we have the Greek Isles, the Adriatic. These are some great ones. I wanted to highlight, if you're looking for Greek intensive, the middle one on the Norwegian Jade is a great opportunity. You see all of the Greek Isles, Athens, and even get a touch of Turkey in Kusadasi. Great port for classical ruins if you're interested in that. Then we have on the right, some with Israel. That's very popular and limited availability. You get to see Cyprus and 2 ports in Israel as well. And then, of course, if you're interested in the Balkan region and with Dubrovnik and Kotor out of romantic Venice, we have a lovely 7-night option on the Norwegian Gem. And just a little bit about Norwegian experience. So we are the freestyle cruising. We are great for multi-generations. Honeymoon couples love to have a great time on Norwegian. If you're bringing a family, we're really that multi-gen cruise line. We are famous for our flexibility. There's no set dining times, no formal nights. It's all about what you want to do when you want to do it. We have tons of different dining options, a wide range of accommodations, and lots of different onboard activities for those that are seeking an exciting adventure at sea when we're not in those ports of call. And the next slide, we actually highlight our accommodations. So we are actually really inclusive for solo travelers. We always encourage you to book early since these accommodations fill up, but we have solo staterooms and a solo lounge on some of our select ships. We have the Haven, which is our private enclave of exclusivity, privacy, and luxury. And then, of course, your inside ocean view and balcony staterooms as well. Our offer right now is quite rich, so we encourage you to call your Expedia travel advisor today. We are offering our Take All promotion, where you take all 5 of these icons, and as well as 30% off your entire cruise fare. We have 2-for-1 deposits running, and then we also have an air promotion right now where the second guest can have their air for free. And right now we also have a limited time offer with our Cruise First program. You'll have to contact your Expedia Cruises advisor, but basically you can get an extra $250 off of your cruise fare when you book right away. Again, just capitalizing on that offer, and make sure you contact your Expedia Cruises advisor so you can seek more information about an exclusive amenity. We're offering a shore excursion credit, which is a great opportunity as well to take advantage of all those exciting European ports of call. And I believe that's it from our side.
Ayla, thank you so much. That was fantastic, and we're off to a great start. There was something I negated to do on the introduction, so I'll do it quickly to help you get the most out of this event today. A little bit of housekeeping. This is an interactive event, and we do that through our Q&A tool. So if you just look to the right-hand side of your screen, the bottom icon there will say Q&A, and you can click on that. And if you have a question for one of our presenters or us, you can just pop it in there, and we'll do our very best to get back to you. We have been experiencing a lot of questions, so please keep in mind if we don't get back to yours on this call, we will ensure that your Expedia Cruises consultant is there to help you answer all your questions. And again, they really are your best resort. So it's time to introduce our next presenter, who we've already introduced briefly, but please welcome Scott from Oceania. Oceania's got some incredible things going on right now, and I think is one of the cruise lines, Scott, and you can, I'm sure, touch on this as we get into it, that's seeing incredible demand in sales for a time when ships aren't sailing as we look to the future and future itineraries. So again, Scott, over to you, and thanks for being here today.
Thanks very much, John. Welcome, everybody, and thanks so much for joining us today. I sincerely hope that you and your families are safe and healthy. And I'd also like to thank John and the Expedia Cruises team for this opportunity to chat with all of you today. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on our brand, and then I will talk about some of our unique itineraries that we're offering in Europe. So some of you that may have sailed with us in the past know what makes Oceania Cruises special, and that's our brand pillars. This is what we stand for. This is how we differentiate ourselves from all the other choices that you have out there. And these are what people really love about Oceania Cruises. And we've stayed true to these brand pillars since we opened our doors back in 2003. Small, luxurious ships, excellent cuisine, and unique itineraries. With Oceania, you're only sailing with hundreds of people, not thousands. So we have 4 ships that carry just under 700 guests and 2 that carry 1,250 guests. We describe the ambiance on board as country club casual. It's not stuffy. There's no formal nights. Our ships have more of a residential feel to them. They're very warm and comfortable feeling. Because of the size of our ships, there's really no lines. There's no waiting. It's easy to get on. It's easy to get off. But probably more importantly is the size of our ships allows us access to those smaller ports that the larger ships aren't able to go to. And probably the most important component of the onboard experience is that human connection with our staff. They're very welcoming. The service is very personalized. It's sincere. They get to know you as individuals. You're not just one in a crowd of thousands. We know a huge part of travel is experience the world through food and wine. So we've invested since day one to make it the hallmark of our brand. All lines have good food and certainly plenty of it, but Oceania has really taken it to the next level. Dining on Oceania is like dining in a fine shoreside restaurant. We spend more time and money on the culinary experience probably than any other cruise line in the industry, and there's no additional charge for our specialty restaurant. Next slide, please. Oceania sails all over the world. We have 7, 10, 12, 14-night cruises and longer that we describe as destination-rich and immersive itineraries. In the summer, we're in the Europe, we're in the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, and the Baltics, as well as Alaska. In the wintertime, we're in the Caribbean, Asia, South America, as well as the South Pacific. We're known for our unique itineraries. That's what people are attracted to, or that's why people are attracted to Oceania, often for the first time. And itinerary planning has always been super important to us. We know that the destination is the primary driver of most travel purchase decisions. So what makes our itineraries great? Well, we strive to provide a nice mix of destination experiences, from those iconic cosmopolitan must-see cities to the smaller, more boutique, less touristy ports of call that we are able to access due to our size. Our itineraries are very port intensive. We overnight, we have longer stays in ports, and really the goal is to give you the opportunity and the time to sample the local flavors of the region we're visiting. A few months ago, we launched our Europe in Americas collection for 2022, and this includes Eastern and Western Mediterranean sailings, Northern Europe and the Baltics, as well as Alaska and Canada, New England. And as John mentioned earlier, the demand is just historic. We had a record-breaking booking day. The guests, you all haven't been able to sail for about a year now. So if you're planning the cruise, I would not wait to book because space will definitely be hard to come by, especially in 2022. Next slide. So our Europe season begins in April with a great selection of itineraries in the Eastern Mediterranean. We're excited to return to Turkey, Istanbul, Kuşadası, and beyond. We'll also visit the Holy Land, and we are returning to the Black Sea for the first time in several years. So we have 3 sailings that I'm about to share with you. Next slide, Priscilla. That just really reinforce how unique our itineraries are and how we spend more time in the destination. So the first one is Rivieras in the Balkans. This is Barcelona to Venice, 12 nights aboard Riviera. As you can see, it's very port intensive. There's only 1 day at sea, and we offer late night departures in Monte Carlo, Dubrovnik, and Koper, Slovenia. And we also overnight in Venice. Next slide. Next slide, please. Domes to Deities, thank you. This is Jerusalem to Venice, 12 nights aboard Nautica, one of our smaller ships, 684 guests. As you can see, this is also very port intensive, with late night departures in Ephesus and Syros, Greece, with an overnight in Jerusalem as well as Venice. Moving on to Northern Europe, we will spend most of the summer cruising in the British Isles, Scandinavia, and the North Cape, as well as the Baltics. And we will also be visiting Iceland and Greenland. Next slide, please. This is a great example of one of our country immersive sailings featuring the best of Ireland. This is a round trip Dublin to Dublin sailing, 8 nights aboard Sirena, also one of our smaller ships carrying just 684 guests, with late night departures in Cork and Belfast. And this is a great opportunity for you to either go in early or extend, or actually do both. Next slide, please. So we do our best to connect you to the destination in a meaningful way. Again, it's all about experiencing the destination. So we have shore excursions for just about every taste. They are focused on culture, history, adventure, cuisine. Many of our past guests have been to a lot of these places, so we have introduced some more unique ways to experience some of the destinations that we visit, from culinary discovery tours to private tours, which give you a full immersion, to go local tours that you see on the screen here. These are small groups, off the beaten path, away from the crowds. We kind of refer to it as beyond sightseeing. So really experiencing the destination as a local would. So you could be a truffle hunter for a day, a shepherd for a day, cycling around the city. So just some unique ways to experience the destination as a local would. Culinary discovery tours next. So we've introduced a number of these over the last several years, and it's really a culinary immersion of certain locales around the world, led by one of our culinary chefs. So for those of you that have an Epicurean interest, it's a fun opportunity to explore local food markets, restaurants, vineyards, farms, cooking schools with regional culinary experts. And it really does bring the city to life in a different way, especially if you've been to that city, multiple times over the past. And finally, our Aquamar wellness tours. We launched these a couple of years ago, and they emphasize health and wellness. This example actually takes place in Malaga, Spain. In the medieval Moorish quarter, you'll be taken to a traditional bathhouse. You'll have the opportunity to soak in different pools, each with their own intended rejuvenation focus. So a pretty cool backdrop and setting, fantastic atmosphere. And after a relaxing massage, you'll explore the quarter before enjoying a traditional Andalusian lunch. Next slide, please. So what does it all cost? We like to think that there's great value embedded in our cruise fares. We include airfare, internet, specialty restaurants. With us, you won't feel like you're being nickeled and dimed. We include room service, 24 hours a day, soft drinks, specialty coffees and teas, Vero bottled water, fitness classes, as well as self-service laundry. We also provide clients additional value through our O-Life Choice promotion, which provides guests with a choice of one of the following: shore excursions, a shipboard credit, or a beverage package. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and really does allow our guests to include the things that are most important to them. And then our final slide, if you book through Expedia Cruises, we are offering free prepaid gratuities on select sailings, additional value, tremendous value really, that ranges anywhere from $16 per person per day up to $23 per person per day. Expedia Cruises is a phenomenal partner of ours, one of our top sellers in North America, so you are in great hands when you book your future Oceania cruise through Expedia Cruises. Back to you, John.
Thank you so much, Scott. It's just another great trip to Europe via my home office here, and honestly, the quality of the product and the value of the offer is there now. And folks, I think there's an old adage about times like this, and some of us might start to think, times are tough. Maybe there'll be some great deals. I can tell you that the way demand's shaping up, there are great deals now. But as a return to service is announced, we believe that the pent-up demand that we're feeling and seeing in our business is going to come right out of the woodwork. There are a lot of people, some of you may have future cruise credits, just waiting to put some money down on something. So while the offers are this spectacular, I sincerely encourage you to talk to your vacation consultant about making a deposit on something. So without any further ado, another remarkable supplier and moving into the world of really true luxury cruising, true all-inclusive luxury cruising today. Here from Regent Seven Seas Cruises is our friend and the spectacular Chanel Knight. So over to you, Chanel. Take us on a luxury cruise, please.
Thank you much, John, and welcome everyone. Good day to wherever you may be. Hope that you and your families are safe and sound. I'm here in sunny South Florida. It's a beautiful day, but welcome to Regent Seven Seas Cruises. I'd like you to join me on a brief journey of all about Regent. Of course, we're excited to always share, and we look forward to welcoming each of you aboard someday in the very near future. Next, I'm going to just take you on a quick tour. First of all, give you an overview about our brand when it comes to what differentiates Regent, not just from my family, but from others in the luxury cruise market. Why is Regent so different? In this slide, I love to share. It's quite wordy, I understand, but I love to share this slide because it really starts the conversation with you and your vacation consultant. And I think ultimately the question here is, what does not Regent include in their entire vacation experience? So I want you to take a good look at the slide. Pretty soon I'll add some numbers to it to really drive home a compelling value proposition message that will definitely have you considering Regent. Oftentimes many see the price point and tend to shy away thinking that's out of their reach, but really take a look at the full package and what you can expect to endure, the full experience, and how you can make new memories and elevate your travel experience. So aside of every luxury included, I'm going to take you on a quick tour of Northern Europe, and this is why we travel. Next.
Why travel to Northern Europe? To witness the grand estates and discover majestic lands steeped in lore and a royal history. To rest in the quiet charm and experience the beauty of a more natural life. To taste the sweet flavors of long-standing traditions. And hear the sounds of a cultural renaissance echoing through palatial halls. Why travel to Northern Europe? To be reminded that every experience matters. And with every luxury included, you'll be free to enjoy every moment.
Thank you. And I hope you are inspired by that video, ladies and gentlemen. And like my sisters that have shared and my brother Scott from Oceania, I'm wanting you to understand, yes, we do travel the world. However, my focus today was on Northern Europe. You might say, why, crazy lady, are you focusing on just that particular destination? Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're asking yourselves what's trending, if you're speaking with your vacation consultants from Expedia Cruises and you're wanting to know what's happening, what are people booking, it is Europe, ladies and gentlemen. It's definitely Northern Europe, the Baltics. And the Med is definitely the #1 sellers across brands these days. And to John's point earlier, and Scott's, there's no need to wait. There are voyages available all the way into 2023. So I encourage you to book right away. Believe it or not, we have many voyages already on wait list for 2022 and into 2023. So I encourage you to book right away. I'm just going to share a few examples of some voyages that we have in Northern Europe and the Med too. Thought I slide the Med on in there, and also showcase some of my ladies. I call my ships ladies. These are my intimate vessels. They sail all around the world, and in their global runways. Just so you know, we're looking to definitely travel safe. You're talking about no more than 750 guests. So from 490 to 750, very intimate. It's like being on your private yacht with a couple hundred of your friends. Next slide. And when it comes to the voyages, ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to have a full discussion with your vacation consultant about your expectations. These are just some overviews in terms of itineraries that we have. But understand, we want to supersede your expectations. Whether you're going to see, I love cathedrals, I love castles and palaces. Maybe it's about museums. Maybe it's about a show you want to catch at night. Maybe it's about a musical or some form of performance. Maybe your adventure takes you from culinary onto, maybe you're an avid golfer and you want to be in during the British Isles and during the British Open. So no matter what your sense of adventure has on the forefront and whatever you're looking to endure with either of our brands, we welcome you to fully investigate, fully explore, and research what it is you want to accomplish when you're traveling to Europe. Next. I'm going to share with you also one of the things that people seek Regent for, of course. I shared with you earlier that particular slide of every luxury included. But here's something that really dissects that slide, and this is one of the most important parts, I think, on that slide. Aside of the four-letter F word that says free, unlimited shore excursions. We travel so far, and many of these ports, so you do know, we do overnight. So always inquire, is there an overnight in these particular ports? So it gives you an even further opportunity to further explore that particular destination. And definitely those of which most popular, such as St. Petersburg, we do overnight in. So I encourage you to really talk to your vacation consultant about all there is to do. But the cool part about it is when it comes to Regent, there's thousands of shore excursions you can choose from. Those that are inclusive. And the next slide I'm going to talk about is Regent choice excursions. If you're looking for something, and when you go to Catherine's Palace, maybe it's you're visiting during the day, but because we're overnighting in St. Petersburg, or we're overnighting in any of some of the other ports, in Stockholm as well. But in this particular example, you may want to come back for a private event and a performance in Catherine's Palace there. So the Amber Room is always beautiful. It's always picturesque and definitely one to visit. So again, your sense of adventure, let it roam, let it go, enjoy Europe to the fullest. Next slide. But understand, as Scott mentioned, there are wellness tours, there are go local tours, various ways in which you can explore and experience this particular destination. And next up is the greatest, I think, story and most compelling story when it comes to Regent. This you can always further discuss with your vacation consultant, which is our value comparison chart. It's the greatest value proposition when it comes to the Regent experience, an unrivaled experience yet we have, but also a most pleasurable one. So ensure that you're highlighting the things that most seek after when they're looking to travel. It's hassle-free. There's nothing to worry about sliding a key card every 50 feet. It's no nickel and dime. It's just there for you. Why not have the best? I love the best. You should want the best when it comes to your travel. Maybe you're looking to upgrade, or maybe you're looking to celebrate a major milestone of some kind, and definitely coming after out of our new normal. So I encourage you to work closely with your vacation consultant. Next slide. And this is the opportunity and the best time to book now, guys. So please make sure you're talking this over on onboard savings. We have actually in which you can save now up to $2,000. Although that says per stateroom, we know life on Regent is sweet because we're all sweet. So in the sweetest month of the year, I wish each and every one of you a happy Valentine's Day. Thank you for your time on today, and we look forward to welcoming you soon aboard a Regent Seven Seas cruise. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Chanel, and thanks so much for the third installment of our European tour. Just tremendous. Again, tremendous offers. 3 very distinct cruise lines specializing in different sets of amenities and adventures. One of my favorite quotes when talking about cruise lines and cruise experiences, people always ask me, well, which cruise line should I go on, John? And I said, well, honestly, you need to look at what the cruise lines offer, and you have to decide what you value, and you need to decide that you have to want to value the value of that particular offering. So these 3 lines, quite distinct in what they offer. They're all going to Europe next summer. And so with that, we'll turn our story or our conversation today to the brass tacks of what's going on in the world. We all know that there is we are on the back half. Let's hope of a very serious global health situation. And therefore, there are questions. I'm going to talk to Chanel from Regent first and put this question to you. My question for you, Chanel, is what do customers need to know before boarding their next cruise? Health, safety, check-in. What's going to be different on a Regent Seven Seas cruise experience from perhaps what they're used to in the past?
Well, first, please, I want everyone to understand that the health and safety of our valued guests and crew has always been our #1 priority when it comes to all of our brands. And that said, what you can expect is many changes. We recommend that you read definitely and familiarize yourselves with the revised travel policies once finalized. And I say that because this is like a moving target here. Nothing has quite been worked out thus far. We're constantly meeting with the CDC as well as the CLIA organization. And your Expedia Cruise Vacation Consultant, is the greatest resource, along with dedicated websites and landing pages that each of our lines have to keep you up on the latest, what's happening, keeping you up to date. But it's just to keep in mind that it will be different. Different is not bad, ladies and gentlemen. Be patient and trust that we're all doing our best to transition into a new normal so we can resume cruising and know that it is not a sprint. It is truly a marathon, and we're learning as the day goes by. Again, this moving target has us all scratching our heads because there's always some type of change. But understand that we will not resume cruising the world until we are sure that we can operate safely, healthy, and provide an enjoyable experience. And that is from once you receive your documents to arriving, flying to the destination or arriving at the pier of embarkation and your check-in process, John. So again, we're waiting to finalize all those things as course as the vaccinations continue on and people continue taking advantage of that particular opportunity. So again, it's just to stay tuned because nothing has yet been finalized. So we don't want to misguide anyone. We want to really focus on what we can control and definitely not put any, put any miscommunications out there and any bad taste in anyone's mouth, but just to be honest and transparent in what is happening.
Thank you. And I appreciate that. I think that that mantra, stay tuned, is something that, we've all gotten a lot better at over the last year because it applies to many things in life. And similarly in travel, I think other things we've gotten used to will be status quo as we begin to travel. And I know I've moved around a bit in the last few months, and the concept of grabbing a mask and some hand sanitizer and heading out into the world feels a heck of a lot less foreign than it did 9-10 months ago when we were first sort of going out to the grocery store with our masks on and weirded out by it. Now it's just kind of what we do, and I keep a stack of them in the car, and looking forward to when I don't need to, but certainly willing to do that if it means we all stay safe and we get the chance to start having a little bit of a broader life in the near future. So thank you. Next, we're going to move over to Kayla at Norwegian, and imagine we're on the ship now, and yes, moving from sort of boarding and pre-cruise to actually the onboard experience. Kayla, what have you heard? What does Norwegian have planned? What's changing for life on board?
Yeah, so we have partnered with Royal Caribbean Group and established our Healthy Sail Panel, which is a team of medical experts, public health experts, marine and environmental experts to really assess what the onboard operation looks like when we return to service. And there's been some great implementations. I want to just say that cruising has always been highly sanitary. We've always been highly conscious of outbreaks and preventative measures that we can take to stop spreads of viruses, bacteria, and the like. We've gone the extra mile now after these circumstances to really make sure that our experience and our ships are next level in terms of cleanliness. So we've installed H3 HEPA filters that really remove almost 99.95% of pathogens that are airborne to give people peace of mind that the air that they breathe is clean. We have an enhanced screening protocol, so there will be testing. I don't think that comes as a surprise to any guest. We will have testing at several points during pre-cruise, maybe on board and potentially off. We're still evaluating what the cadence of that looks like. We've enhanced our sanitation measures and actually have implemented a lot of cool technology in the staterooms, whether it's fogging or electrostatic spray, to really give guests confidence that when they're on board, their cabin has been thoroughly sanitized and disinfected. What you're seeing in hotels and other properties today in terms of social distancing is something that we would just right now tell guests that they can imagine that there will be a higher space ratio per guest. We don't know exactly what the occupancy of our vessels will be. We're thinking maybe around 50%, but again, like as Chanel said, that's still kind of in the works. So, but there will be more space ratio per guest. We will have enhanced medical resources. So we've expanded our medical team on board. We've implemented a public health officer whose only designation is to focus specifically on cleanliness and stop the spread of any outbreaks or infectious diseases as well. So There's quite a bit that's been done, whether it's ship to shore as well too, because we've also thought about, okay, when our folks stop in ports of call, what does that look like when we visit various destinations? And we've partnered with our ports of call and excursion team to make sure that our onboard experience for sanitation and peace of mind, so to speak, within the realm of science is backed by our excursion folks as well.
It's honestly quite remarkable. I mean, the level of investment and the future of what a cruise looks like. And I for one, am in the team that believes that it's not going to be safe. It's going to be extremely safe. And I actually think safer than some of the environments we spend in time otherwise. I needed to take a flight a couple of months ago to a destination that required testing to land in that region. And I was nervous at some level, even as a very experienced traveler. I'm like, geez, this is not, I don't want to get COVID-19. And right up to the gate, I was just blown away with the degree of sanitization just going on in airports, which, for the most part haven't been uber sanitized, I don't think, in our past travel lives. And what occurred to me at the boarding gate was, geez, I'm around people, but everyone's distancing, everyone's wearing masks, but I'm like, on this flight, everyone on board has had a negative test within the last 2 days. I'm like, I actually think getting on this plane, and it's got HEPA filters, and it's been wiped down and fogged and all the rest, I actually think it's safer to go on this plane than it is to go up to my local grocery store and buy a bunch of food. So the future of travel, hopefully for the long run, will be spectacular. And I actually also think that for those that are willing to jump in first, they're going to get a special treat, because you mentioned something about space. And the more space, the better is always my belief. And I think as travel returns, those that go first will get the special treat of being warmly welcomed by some very grateful tour providers and cafe owners and the people that we travel to. I traveled. My sister-in-law got married in Hawaii like 4 weeks after 9/11, and the world had abandoned travel at that point. And the warm welcome that we received and the gratitude that we felt only added to kind of the camaraderie of travel and enriched the experience. Remember it really well. So I have a good vibe that that'll be part of the recovery. And for those that go first, you're going to get an even more memorable and I think warm and personal experience. So thank you very much, Kayla, for that information. And lastly, just to imagine that we're on the trip and doing some of that interacting with the ports and getting out in to see the world, we'll go to Scott at Oceania, and I'd like to ask the question, Scott, do you anticipate the port experience will be different? Because we are hearing things about what's going on with the trips in Europe already, where you're sort of limited to sticking with the trips from the ship. In the early days, I'm assuming that's part of the protocol, but how do you see it evolving over time, and what will it be like touring from the ship in the days ahead?
Sure. Well, we've talked about that new normal, John. So the traveling public has done a great job of adjusting to new realities that have impacted travel, over the years, as you mentioned, going back to 9/11, and I just want to re-emphasize, what Kayla had mentioned earlier, and Chanel, who are my sisters, by the way. We're all part of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings, so that represents 3 brands: Norwegian, Oceania, and Regent. Frank Del Rio was our chairman. He founded Oceania Cruises back in 2003, and he has made it very clear that his goal is to make sure that cruising is the safest vacation experience possible, and that he will not put anybody on our ships until he's 100% confident that he can do so safely by bringing his, I think he said, his 88-year-old mother and his youngest grandchild on board. So we take it very seriously, and we've invested significantly for onboard measures to make sure that it is a healthy and very safe environment on board. In terms of the destinations that we visit, yes, once we are able to sail again, we do expect the early on sailings will be different. Most likely operating shore excursions in a bubble, making sure that we have vetted all of our partners and that they share the same approach and the same measures, have the same measures for operating the shore excursions or our shuttles, etc. We might need to adjust itineraries based on various ports and what measures they have in place. We think that group sizes will definitely be strictly controlled. I know it's difficult, very difficult really, to not view future vacations, cruise vacations especially, through this current lens of what we're all going through. But it is important to remember that, the landscape will definitely look very different, 6 months from now than it does currently. And if you're not planning on sailing until 2022, 2022, we really expect things will be, they won't be all that different than they were pre-COVID. Yes, there will be that new normal, but by that point, we will have all adjusted to that new normal.
Perfect. That's, I think, a wonderful way to wrap it up. We're going to go into a little bit of rapid fire now. I want to make sure we get everyone home on time to wherever they're going next. So, we're asking people to book way in advance all of a sudden and to make a deposit on something that may not be happening to 22 or 23 or certainly late 21. So with that in mind, starting with Kayla, could you please tell us about Norwegian Cruise Line's cancellation terms?
Yes, so we have our Peace of Mind program, which we've now extended through October 31st, 2021, where guests can cancel up to 15 days prior to sailing. Obviously, this would be on sailings up to 2021, and receive a full future cruise credit towards another sailing that they can use by the end of December 31st, 2022. It allows them some peace of mind in terms of cancellation. We've also extended final payment, again, for those sailings up through October 31st, 2021 to now be 60 days prior to voyage date to allow additional time to really settle and see what's happening.
That's phenomenal. Scott, what can we tell you? What can you tell us about Oceania's flexibility when it comes to cancellation? And
sure, very similar actually to very similar to my sisters. We know that flexibility is super important. We want to mitigate any financial risk to you as much as we can. So we have a travel assurance program. If you're fully paid, that does allow you to cancel up until 15 days prior to sailing and receive 100% of the cruise fare paid in the form of a future cruise certificate. And like Norwegian, we have extended our final payment from like 90 days prior to sailing to 60 days prior to sailing on all of our sailings right now through June, and most likely that'll be extended as well.
Super. And Chanel, how is Regent handling things?
We're handling it, I'm going to say what they said. So all of our programs are very similar. They're just named different, ladies and gentlemen. So ours is Regent Reassurance. That gives you that reassurance to cancel for your bookings that are paid in full, up to 15 days, as Scott was saying, and you could receive a full refund. Now, we also understand that some of you may have rebooked your cruise, and they may be subject to a recent voyage suspension. So what happens there is, in the event you opt for a refund, you can receive a full refund in the tender of which the booking was secured. If you used a future cruise credit certificate to make a new booking that was suspended recently, then you're going to receive another future cruise credit certificate. I just wanted to make sure we clarify that as well, ladies and gentlemen. But all of our policies are very similar. They're just named different.
Simple and different all at the same time, which is perfect. And I really think the key is flexibility, and love that name of reassurance. And that's what we all need. The deposits sometimes are real amounts of money, and people want to know that they're putting something out there that they can do that with confidence. But I think on the flip side, by doing so, you're going to be getting in on it while there's still time. I locally, and just the way the world's gone, I'm a skier, and to go skiing now, you have to book your ticket in advance online, and they're only selling so many, which was never a thing. I used to be able to bumble up at 10 a.m. and get my ticket and go. My son wanted to go skiing today, or tomorrow is Friday. It's a professional development day. I was looking on Monday for a ticket for him. They're all gone. They have adapted to booking things, restaurants, skiing, you name it. People have adapted to booking early and securing their spot. So I can't see why that wouldn't spill over into our business. And I'm sure it's part of what's fueling the current demand curves that we're seeing. Okay, now we're going to make it a fun one to bring it home. We'll go in reverse order this time and begin with Chanel again. And Chanel, you're a world traveler. You've been doing this for a number of years. Give us one tip. How can folks make the most of their European cruise when they get there or when they're planning? And that'll be the same question for all three of you, so the other two of you can think about that while Chanel answers.
Well, here's my shameless plug, because you know I'm a cheerleader, right? So work with your Expedia Cruises vacation consultant on maximizing your vacation experience, ladies and gentlemen, and charting, your European travels. They possess a wealth of knowledge, expertise, worldwide partnerships. Don't go at this alone. I'm here to encourage you, please work closely with them. And keep in mind that in just working closely with them, be transparent. Share what your expectations are. Lay it all out on the table so there's no surprises on the back end, ladies and gentlemen. And trust me, through that and their professionalism and their knowledge, they can qualify you and match you with the proper and correct cruise experience. Because we don't want people returning home with rocks in their jaws. So I say that because that's very important to make sure you're on the right product. Understand the benefits. It's all about your travel. I can share what Chanel loves, but you're paying for this vacation and you're talking to me about your experience. So it's important that I listen to what your expectations are and the benefits that you're looking to endure. So that's why I say work closely with those guys and understand when it comes to, of course, sailing with Regent, what's different with us. Of course, we provide you with the multiple choices, of course, spacious accommodations, such as many of my sisters, and as Scott talked about earlier, cuisines by world-class chefs. So exquisite cuisines, definitely with regional delicacies as you sail throughout Europe. So you can definitely expect to have a taste of Europe while you're on board as well as in port. And also I say before I wrap up, prepare yourself to capture beautiful photos, ladies and gentlemen, and create new memories of the most incredible places in the world. Thank you.
Beautiful. Scott, tips for us.
I'm happier just listening to Chanel and
Me too.
Kayla from the beginning. My happiness factor throughout this presentation has gone through the roof, actually. I would, we may have taken travel for granted, right? And gosh, I would go anywhere these days. So, I would take your time to experience the destination. Consider a back-to-back cruise. We are seeing a lot of demand for longer cruises. It seems like people are making up for lost time, or even a back-to-back-to-back sailing. John, you mentioned at the very beginning, before we started the broadcast, that Oceania sold out our around the world 2023 sailing. It's 180-day sailing, and we sold it out in one day. So that just speaks to the pent-up demand out there. But take your time, make the most of it. Add on a pre, add on a post, but really take your time in experiencing the destination.
Excellent, and agree. All right, my friend Kayla, please bring us home. Share your tips for the best European vacation ever.
All right, I have two mega tips. And number one is book your excursions through the cruise line. It's all about peace of mind. Nobody wants to be worrying about getting back to the ship in enough time before it leaves to its next destination. If you book with the cruise line, you're guaranteed that the ship will wait for you in port if you're running behind for whatever reason. Number two, pack some comfortable shoes because you don't want to miss Europe because you have blisters on your feet from the day before. So pack a variety of apparel because seasons change, but the shoes get you from point A to point B. So don't forget those.
Agreed. You're making me laugh. My wife and I are always, I'm in my Nike Airs and she's like, what? She's got like 5 pairs of fancy sandals. I'm like, what are those? You can't wear those all day. Anyway, she does, and she looks great, and she does well without my input. So thank you, all three of you, from the Greater Norwegian Group and on behalf of everyone at Expedia Cruises. I think this has been, I echo Scott's sentiment. It's been nice. It's been fun. It's been great to spend a little time dreaming and remembering past vacations. So I believe our next segment will be prize time. So if we've compelled you to give yourself something to look forward to and you book a trip as a result of this presentation and the promotions that we have on today, I'm very excited to award one of our attendees, Sylvia Clark. You'll be receiving an extra $250 US onboard credit with any booking made by the looks like end of March. So if you're still on, and I hope you are, because if you're not, you might not know that you just won that massage, or maybe really something else special, a tour. Who knows what you could do with that money? Please just put a little note into the Q&A and identify yourself, and we'll work with your Expedia Cruises vacation consultant to ensure that you get your prize. So honestly, on behalf of everyone, all 300 locations and close to 6,000 professional, passionate Expedia Cruises vacation consultants, on behalf of Norwegian, Oceania, and Regent, thank you for spending some time with us today. I hope we've enlightened you to the current state of travel and inspired you to look forward to waking up in Europe. So I wish you a great rest of your day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll be seeing you out there on the seas in the not too distant future. Have a good evening and afternoon, everyone. Thank you.